Could you state your name, please?
Emmanuel Padilla. I was working as a toy maker and also at another company doing shipping logistics is the easiest way to put it.
Okay.
Well, I went along initially with the protest that occurred after George Floyd was murdered. Mainly just as a way to show up, be a body, help out somehow. Once people really understood what they wanted to do, what they wanted to get out of the changes that could occur, and it just kept going. It just grew further and further out of that. I was at around the general vicinity of where Sheriff Alex Villanueva's home is, apparently. We didn't get too close to it because we were stopped, I would say halfway, what looked halfway up the road to where we understood he lived. And we were there to bring more attention to what had been going on in general with his different deputies that had been, committing murders over the past couple of months and getting away with it with no oversight. Well, after a bit, we were pushed back. After we got as far as we could, we walked along the road, and on the way back, they kettled us for a bit. So we stood there and marched for a bit, holding up signs for Andres Guardado and Dejan Kizzy and Fred Williams that were the recent murders by LASD. And after a while, they said that we can go because originally they weren't letting us go. Me and another friend left in my vehicle, and we managed to get out first because everyone was taking a bit longer. And they I could see one of the other officers that pointed at my car, and one of the officers further up stopped me, asked me to turn off the engine, get out, and put me in handcuffs and started searching me and led me to a different vehicle. And held me for a bit, moved me to the back of the vehicle, and placed me in the cuffs, searched my pockets for a bit, just took my phone and my wallet out, and then led me to another car. This whole time I'd been asking them, what are you detaining me? What are you detaining me for? Why am I being detained? They wouldn't answer me. They would say, we'll tell you later. The deputy that had been driving at this point had already put in information in the car, on his police computer car. Like my date of birth, my current address, such and such. If I had any medical issues also. So he took note of that, and then by that point he had already counted some of my cash and looked through my wallet.
At this point, have they told you why you're being detained yet?
No.
Okay.
He said he's still waiting to hear what the charges are.
Okay.
Yeah. So they take me out. They lead me into a bit of a holding cell because they have to get the paperwork done, whatever that means. I haven't been in jail before, so I don't understand what any of this meant. And eventually, they sit me down. Some other detainees end up in there, and they're talking about being in there to each other. Oh, they got me again. They got me this, that, and one of the deputies mentioned, oh, see, like, that's the kind of stuff that happens like that. Like, this is why you're here. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not the kind of person I am. So, whatever. And so, I was feeling pretty tired. I hadn't really eaten anything or taken the medicine I'm supposed to take. So yeah, I was feeling pretty worn out. And they eventually started asking about the incident more towards the end of the night, toward what I felt was going to be the end of the conversation. And yeah, they asked me what had happened, and I explained to them what had happened, and so then they asked what would have happened if something had actually happened, because I'm denying what they're accusing me of at this point, obviously. And they're asking me, well, what would have happened? I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe it just would have short-circuited because it's electricity or something, or it would have broken apart like so many of us have seen it break from a car hitting it or something. And they said, oh well, what about, what about if it like caused a train to derail? I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't think that's what would have happened.
So at no point did you say, like, I intended to derail a train? Or
No.
And I have to ask, did you intend to derail a train?
No, never.
Okay.
I didn't even intend to place anything on the tracks.
So at this point, it's been since you arrived at the protest. It's been, let's call it, I think the protest would have started at 3:00.
On you mean the one at Villanueva's house?
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's around the time that.
Okay, so that's about 10 hours, roughly, about with the time that you would have been speaking to deputies.
Yeah.
How often do you have to take your medication?
Well, I'm supposed to take it twice a day, once in the morning with breakfast and once at night or during dinner time. So.
Got it. So, at this point, you're unmedicated.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I just have said that I'm Megan Adams, the wife of Emmanuel Padilla? So weird. Your wife?
Do not say
I don't know. The day he was arrested, I was at home taking work meetings, and I got a call halfway through one that he had been arrested by Terry from jail support. So she had called me to let me know that had happened. And she told me that it would be a few hours. I said I was still in meetings, so she said it would be a few hours until I would even get to see him or what he would be processed or be out or anything. So she said, you can finish up your meetings and then come join us at jail sport, where he was. So I started driving to come see you, and on the way, not even maybe 2 blocks from our apartment, I was pulled over by LASD. I mean, other than being very uncomfortable in my cuffs, and like kind of like straining and like squatting on the ground slightly while they were processing me, I could hear them talking about how much soda there was in the back that had been dropped off by some church apparently. But then I heard some other deputy come out saying, "Holy shit, there's a lot of beer in there," which I thought was interesting. So yeah, and they all kept going like back into this back room to get drinks. So it was quiet in there most of the night, but yeah.
Got it. And did anything of note happen, maybe, I guess, in your life while
I was in there?
Eman were both in there?
Yeah. Yeah, that was exciting to find out. The following morning, after I was released, that our apartment had been raided was shocking. And then actually arriving to our apartment, I was released at 8 a.m. I walked into my apartment at 8:30, and it was just crazy. Just absolutely insane. Just stuff everywhere.
So somebody, after they had arrested you falsely for this registration ridiculousness, they had went and gotten search warrants for your apartment?
Yeah.
Came back. So it sounds to me like they were just trying to use you to get you out of the apartment so that they could do that. They didn't want to serve the warrant with you present. Yeah. Do you feel that that's the case?
Oh, definitely. Because we live in Hawthorne. The area that I should have been pulled over in should only be Hawthorne PD jurisdiction. And I was pulled over by LSD. And only LASD was called us back up for my arrest, essentially.
Describe what your apartment looked like when you walked in.
Oh my gosh. So we are toy people, and we have toys everywhere, and everything was just, we have like displays, and everything kind of was just like on the ground everywhere. Like, our bed completely flipped over, everything out of the closets. That he was on $1 million bail. When I was on my way to him, because at first I had been told he was at City of Industry, and so that's why when I was, but then not pretty much as I was leaving, they were like, actually he's being transferred to Twin Towers, and it's $1 million bail. I was like, just no words. I couldn't even comprehend what that meant. I don't know enough about anything to really understand what it still means. Yeah, that's all I knew was like, that's more money than I could ever comprehend. to get.
When did you find out the sentence maximum?
Oh, wait, sentence.
The life.
The million. Oh, the life?
Yeah.
Oh, that was that Monday in the hearing. I was lucky that you had a phone in your cell and could call at any time. So at least got to speak to you like 3 times a day minimum, which was nice.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Padilla. I was a resident of Compton for 30 years. My family, mom, dad, brother, from my birth up until a few years ago, still live here. So I still consider this home and keep my ear to the ground. I lived through the Rodney King riots, the corrupt Compton Police Department, and the transition to LASD. During all this, I learned to stay out of trouble and keep my head down, even though I was not immune to the effects of over-policing in an area populated by people of color. Nobody is perfect. My stance and reason for protesting is straightforward. Hold police and deputies accountable for their actions. How long do families have to wait for justice for a murdered loved one? How much intimidation do they have to take from officers and deputies before they receive answers? Why are the innocent held to higher standards than those paid by the citizens to protect said people? Police and sheriff's department always have dozens upon dozens of excuses to protect their own, but all they ever need is one reason to arrest or kill a human being. Before our fellow human being George Floyd was killed this summer, I spent my time collecting action figures, working for a small toy company, and spending time with my wife. Since then, I have been hit with tear gas, rubber and pepper bullets at point-blank range, followed home by helicopters and deputies, seen countless friends brutalized by those we pay to serve our citizens, and just these past couple of days chained and moved around a jail so no one can contact me. All this for what? Because I want those paid by us to be held accountable? I'm tired of all of this. I would love to go back to working on toys and enjoying this life. But my eyes have been opened beyond simply turning my gaze and ignoring it. Growing up here, I've always known that the recent murder of Andres Guardado reinforced this. All it takes if you want to be murdered by cops is to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Your character and actions are an afterthought to them. We are walking, expendable paychecks. And if that is hard for anyone to grasp, then I hope something less than murder helps one to understand. I wish he were out to say these words himself. On Wednesday night, we separately spent our first nights in jail. It was great. On my way to jail support, after learning about his arrest, I was pulled over by LASD, pulled from my car with lovely dark bruises to show, while they ripped apart my car under the pretense that my car fits the description of a shooting in the area, repeatedly asked if I was carrying a gun. Me? Really? I'm not even from here. After what felt like an hour of searching and producing nothing, they cuffed me, took me to Lenox Station, and whilst being processed, I overheard officers joking about all the beer in the back room, tolerated lovely lewd jokes about their favorite positions while I strained in my cuffs. After processing, I waited till sunrise, so annoyed that the only damn phone number I've learnt is my husband's, and he is trapped, and so am I, being held on $0 bail so that they, while he's on his $1 million bail, they could raid our apartment, steal our personal property, and personally pick over my underwear drawer. All for what? Because he was yelling too hard? If you've been to any protest, you've probably noticed, Eman. At 6'4", we all look up to him. And if you've spoken to him, you'd understand why he worked at Disneyland for 6 years and was so proud to wear Compton on his name tag just to show that genuine people lived here too. He is the loudest, realest guy on the ground, the gentle giant you can turn and trust. He'll always stand up for anyone against police brutality, and he won't shy away from a threat because he's always standing up for what is right, even though he suffers from pre-existing conditions that make him a scary target for COVID. So help me get him home. To be falsely accused, put on $1 million bail, and for what? I'm not gonna ask, I'm gonna demand that his bail is lowered, that he be given access to his legal counsel who've been denied access for days, that they stop attempting to interrogate him, because guess what? You're never gonna break him. It'll never work. And then I want everything dropped, and for him to be released immediately. I just want to get him home. And you know, I didn't start this fight, but I'm gonna fucking finish it.
I have no idea how that was organized, to be perfectly honest. I have zero capabilities with anything and have a great, amazing wealth of friends and protest people that really know what's up and was able to organize that. I mean, honestly, like, Yoni knew immediately and called me as soon as he was able to do anything, and then even to attempt to see the next day, he called me after sort of every step. And then it wasn't really long after until Jorge called me as well and said that he was going to help.
My mom, she can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, be cool. Yes.
Mamá, soy como soy porque usted y Sana siempre me enseñaron amor y paciencia.
Sí, mijo.
Y que nunca me dejara de nadie y que nunca me dejara de nadie.
Sí.
That's it, everyone. That's all I gotta say. Usted no está hablando, por favor. Thank you for being out there. I hope none of you guys get hurt. I hope those ridiculous cops go eat shit and whatever. None of us, not me, not any of you, especially all of you, deserve what's happening right now. So, please stand tall because you guys are on the right side of history and they aren't.
What would you say to criticisms that you would have been better able to de-escalate the situation had you kept your officers over there?
Sir, all we're here to do is keep the peace.
What would you say to criticisms that pepper bullet guns and things like that?
Sir, all I'm saying is we're here to keep the peace.
So we thought, why not? Let's do it. At least we could be close. Maybe we could be loud enough and he could hear us. Who knows?
So you were in a park?
Yeah, we were in a park next to Twin Towers. We set up a table and everybody bought food. I mean, I'm concerned.
Okay, we better than that.
Y'all stay steady collaborating with the ones that are the fucking violent ones that's fucking trying to start the fight.
They don't need to be so militarized. Why did everyone need to be in riot gear when they were standing around during Thanksgiving? You know, while our health workers are dressed in goddamn boxes and trash bags, like, why don't they have all that gear?
But they're on public sidewalks.
Push past, push forward, push forward, push forward. Everybody's back. Push forward. Push forward. It's not worth it. It's push forward. Push forward. Everybody's over there anyway.
I know, but they have to use this first order nothing. They have no right to it.
You're right.
They have no fucking right to it.
Push forward.
You gotta move that bike out of the way, dear.
I'm gonna take my motherfucking time. Sorry.
She's right about that.
I'm gonna take my motherfucking time.
She is right about that. You're talking about these loitering. This ain't loitering.
Ain't nobody loitering here. If you
ain't giving no dispersal order.
Keep pushing.
He wants that.
Keep pushing.
I'm already injured. Hold on, I can't cover everybody.
We're cool. Don't escalate. We got this. Let's go. All right.
Where are we supposed to go when you're pushing us? I'm already injured. Where are we supposed to go? Where? 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 I'm already injured. You want to see my bruises from the fucking warrant?
Come on.
Okay. Alright, well, here goes. Gascon, you stand the people that voted you in the office. They brought attention to how useless your predecessor, Jackie Lacey, was and made sure the voters didn't fall for bullshit again. The people voted for you so that you would do right by them instead of constantly siding with law enforcement. Not only have we been paying with our taxes, but for some with our very lives. I'm one of those that protested against Jackie Lacey and also voted for you. My time protesting was aimed at Los Angeles Sheriff's Department for the murders of Andres Guardado, Dejan Kazi, and Fred Williams. You have made an effort to reach out to families of those killed by law enforcement. Now I am in jail on trumped-up charges because
this call is being recorded.
Because LASD wants to silence protesters. Because LASD wants to silence the protesters against them. My incarceration should be your concern since it falls within the injustices you're supposed to be fighting against. So do the right thing. Drop the charges and free me in time for the holidays and my birthday. The people are awake and will do everything in their power to get you out of office if you continue down the same path Jackie Lacey did. Thank you. Fuck LASD. Eat shit, Villanueva.
So it's been about 19 days since I've been able to hold Eman's hands, and about 12 since I got to see him across the room at a hearing. And I really don't want to have to wait any longer. We can barely even wait for Christmas. We both became toy makers so we could play with toys all the time. But this year, he's maybe not going to get any toys. I guess 2020 is the gift that keeps on giving, right? This year, I've been arrested, had my home raided, my personal and work electronics seized. On the night of his arrest, I was on my way to see if I could actually bring his medication, and I was followed and pulled over by LASD, forced from my car into their car, under the pretense that my car fit the description of a shooting in the area. Repeatedly questioned if I was carrying a gun. I was eventually arrested for something that would usually be a ticket, and my car impounded. And I was kept overnight, only to be read my rights the following morning and interrogated by detectives and without a lawyer. So it was upon my release the same morning that I learned of LASD's tactics, that they didn't want me. I was just a $0 bail. They just wanted to raid our apartment and steal our belongings. So it's pretty clear to me that we were targeted by LASD because of his protest involvement. And these allegations against him is a display of intimidation against all those that use their rights to protest this racist institution. A racist system that denies an innocent man bail. Even murderers like Kyle Rittenhouse, who've been seen on film, have more rights than a brown man in America. So Gascon, I'm pretty sure it's well within your right to send my husband home with his charges dropped. Or at the very least, you could post a reasonable bail. But for what? A crime that harmed no one and only shows gross negligence on behalf of LASD for not maintaining their own expensive equipment? So, considering it's only your first day as the DA, and I know a lot of people have demands for you, I'd like to ask nicely that you take action to right the wrongs committed by LASD against my husband, or I'm going to come back here every day and keep demanding for his release until you do. Thank you.
Free Eman! Free Eman!
Had any integrity for the position that you held, you would come talk to your community members and speak to them regarding the demands that they had for you and our city officials. If you hold any integrity, you would hear these words that we have for you. He needs to know that Eman's freedom lies in his hands. If someone like Kyle Rittenhouse can be released on bail, while someone like Eman, who was just in his car doing nothing at that, picketing, he was a lot more peaceful than some of us have been, if you want me to be quite frank. And that should scare everyone, but that should encourage you to come out, because if it wasn't for us, Eman wouldn't have had his chance at receiving his medication. He was a political activist who has been fighting for civil rights since George Floyd's unrest. He was recently arrested for a crime that he didn't commit. There was no proof. Originally, he was given $1 million bail, and when he was met in court on Monday because we paid a house call to Councilman Ridley Thomas, they finally allowed us to speak to him, and they removed his bail.
He has no priors and it's not a
He has no priors. He's not a flight risk. He's a typical citizen, a toymaker at that, like a lot of us who are just students, mothers, and we can't thank you enough for coming out. It really doesn't matter.
Counsel to talk to my clients. So I'm glad you're here. Just so you know, we all fought for you. We all stayed here every single Wednesday to get Jackie Lacey out of here. We're your people. We're here for you. We're excited you're here. We heard about what you did in San Francisco. We're excited to have you here. Please help us.
Absolutely.
Please.
Please help us.
Free man!
Free
man!
Let him talk. Let me talk. Okay, so we're getting the file. I don't have the file yet. I don't have any details other than what's in the newspaper. We will review the file tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I will give you an answer because I don't have any details right now. As far as your access as attorney to your clients, we're going to have some conversations because obviously you get to have access to your clients.
Right.
So while we don't control the sheriff or the LAPD, I want to have some particular specific cases. Give me a little bit of time to build up a staff.
Happy to have it. We're not trying to ambush you. We're just excited
No,
you're here. Yeah, we're excited you're here.
That's why we wanted to be clear about our intentions being here
staff
today.
today is my wife and a couple of people, so we will get to that. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to review your case. I should have the file
And Andres
tomorrow.
Cordado.
We will review the file and we will come back and give you an answer and we'll have a public answer.
Muchas gracias,
Okay, señor.
And Andres Cordado and Eman.
Yo le puedo-
Oh my God!
Ok, no sabía que no hablaba de
Alex
eso.
Flores.
No, yo no hablo inglés.
Vamos a,
Anthony
mañana
McLean.
me van a traer el expediente de su hijo.
Sí, señor.
Yo lo voy a revisar enseguida y le damos una respuesta porque en este momento no tengo ninguna información. What I'm telling her, do you speak Spanish?
Hablas con muy bien.
Entonces sabes ya lo que es. So what I told him, so you know, I'll review the file and I'll have a meeting with Mom and the attorney as well.
Appreciate it.
Okay?
District Attorney Gascon.
Jackie Lacey would never even look at it. So thank you for even interacting with me.
You guys are going to get tired of seeing me.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can only hear one at a
I'm
time.
walking my dogs, so I just.
Sorry? Ya, por nada. A ustedes, señor, yo y mi hijo.
Él es el papá de
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we'll look at it tomorrow. We'll get together. Okay?
Estamos sufriendo mucho.
And others whose cases need to be open as
You
well.
guys go home,
Please.
relax, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you.
Is there a timeline on when you'll be?
So,
Is there a timeline on when you'll be finished reviewing?
I'm going to look at it tomorrow, and then I'll have at least a preliminary conversation with you guys. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Have you been following us?
Have you been filming the mayor? Better here than at your house.
When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win!
So today we had a press conference for Emmanuel in the hopes that we could convince Gascon to take a look at his case. And after everyone had finished speaking, Gascon actually came out of the building with his whole team of people and his wife and said that they would review the case tomorrow and give a call to his mother and his lawyer to let us know what is going on.
And how are you feeling about it?
Really hopeful and excited. Honestly, so shocked and astounded that he even came out of the building to speak to anyone. Apparently not something that has happened by Jackie Lacey or any DA prior, so I'm hopeful. I have all of my fingers crossed in the hopes that we will get to see him.
Yeah, you guys can wait on this side. They're filming something right here.
Well, we're gonna go all the way through on the other side.
Yeah, you guys can wait on that side of the street, all right? Yeah, this side is the.
You can't sit over there. We sit there every time we get somebody out.
Well, because of filming, it's better if you guys wait that way. You see them waiting over there? They're doing the same thing.
So you have the cones on this side.
This is a public sidewalk, but thank you. You're gonna start walking down that way? They're coming.
You're going down this way?
Oh, there's that.
You are now being given an order to disperse.
Fuck you!
Move back. You are now given an order to disperse.
That's what it could be. We're waiting for our guy to get out. Relax.
Move back. You are now given an order to disperse.
Disperse where?
Why?
That's what it could be. We're waiting for our guy to get out. Relax.
Move back. You are now given an order to disperse.
Disperse where?
Why?
Can I speak with you?
This is a public sidewalk.
Who's the commanding officer? Hey.
That's not how this works, by the way.
Any comment on all this?
I have no clue what's going on, so I'll keep my mouth shut.
Got it. So they're protecting the film shoot, and in order to do that, they're pushing everyone back.
Well,
cool.
We got to be protected.
What's that?
We have to be protected.
Got it. And what shoot are you guys doing?
You can leave now. I don't need to talk on.
Got it.
So bad.
Let's go.
If I want to give you a hard time, you give me a hard time?
No, sir.
That's what he just said. He just said.
Make sure I contact the judge. They think it's under operations here. There's operations.
I'm staying. I'm a lawyer. They can leave. I'm staying.
Bye, sir.
I'm staying.
Bye, sir.
I'm staying here.
Okay, see you tomorrow at 9 in the morning.
What is it? Ninja Turtles 2? Got it.
Oh! Don't stop, y'all. Keep going. They're not releasing him out until across the corner. This is the fucking corner. They're pieces of shit and they're lying, but it doesn't matter. Eman is on lockdown right now because of it.
Everyone get on the sidewalk. Everyone get the fuck out of the street.
Even though we are compliant. Hey, babe. On the sidewalk. Babe, sidewalk.
If you want to give me a hard time, I'll give you a real hard time.
Good to see you.
What's up, baby? Yeah. That's literally Farfan. Farfan is his name, the short, fat one. He said, I know who you are. If you want to
Farfan, I know him.
He literally
Yeah.
said, quote, if you want to give me a hard time, I'll show you a hard time.
Gotcha.
You guys all fucked up. You got caught by Gascon. You got caught by Gascon. Every single one of you guys got caught. Your shit got caught. The party's over. The party's over. The party is over. All got caught. This is our party. We won. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. We won. We won. It's over. Your shit's over. We won. Gascon caught all your bullshit. Jackie Lacey ain't here no more. Jackie Lacey ain't here no more. We won.
Fucking job.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. We win. We fight, we win. We fight, we win. We fight, we win. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Our boys coming home, and you can't do shit about it. Our boys coming home, and you can't do shit about it.
You know it. You're a fucking loser. Turn on your fucking costume.
Nazi lemon. Hey, don't worry about him. Hey, this is a party. This is a party. We're party.
Shut shit down. Who shut shit down? Shut shit down. Gascon, daddy now, please. Are you all proud of yourselves?
Okay, we'll hang
I didn't
right
realize it was you.
We'll hang right here. We're good right here. Can we hang right here?
Riot shield and donuts for all! Is this not? Are you not entertained?
Space for all of you. You can change your mind and you can do the right thing. If you want to be like a Nazi, that's how you're going to be seen in 5 years, 10 years as Nazis. It's going to be very sad. Very, very sad, guys. You might want to think about that, okay? You might want to think about that, okay? Yeah, there you go. Go home. There you go. Go home.
We'll be gone. Wouldn't that be nice if we left?
I'm not in there. His name is Emmanuel Padilla. He's slated to get out today. That's the only reason we're here.
Now, did you check his release date?
Yeah, it's supposed to be today.
Because I'm being told that it's not today.
Let me get his lawyer. Can we get his lawyer?
His lawyer's here. Can I go grab his lawyer? And everybody else will stand back because I asked her.
Hey, just got it back right now.
Just got it back?
Just got it back right now. Right now. Just got it back.
What's up, brother?
Hey, free Eman! Free Eman! Free Eman!
What is that, a Velcro strap?
Yes, master. Hey, are you the commanding officer? I do have actually some questions. Did you guys push them out to protect the film shoot? Any comment on why you pushed everyone out? Is there someone that would respond to me? Suarez, you forgot to put your duct tape on, bud.
And then just write random numbers on top of it, like everyone else did.
Ooh, this one didn't write any numbers.
What's this?
Oh, that's so weird.
I'm feeling disappointed and angry, yet determined. We're getting Eman out, so it don't matter. We'll be out here 2 hours, we'll be out here 100 hours. He's coming home, that's all that matters. They're not gonna fuck up our beautiful day. We won today, so we will celebrate now, or we'll celebrate in 2 hours, or we'll celebrate in 10 hours. Doesn't really matter to me. We'll be celebrating soon.
And what happened?
I've been dropped.
So the sheriff's department, in a petulant 5-year-old child's fit, decided to shut down our celebration, not a protest, a celebration, a welcome home party for Emmanuel, our comrade who was unjustly imprisoned and unjustly charged with ridiculous crimes, who today was exonerated of the ridiculous charges. We were here to celebrate that. We had welcome home signs, we had balloons. This was a party, and the sheriff's department, as is their practice, decided to turn this into a conflict and are now in full riot gear with slinkies and guns trained on us as we speak across the street.
And any comment on the fact that there was a film shoot going on across the street? Do you think that it had anything to do with?
Yeah, I mean, this is what the sheriff's department does, right? The police, the sheriffs, all law enforcement is here to protect property. They're here to protect things, right? Like a movie set, like shooting, things that generate revenue, right? So this is all about the same way that they run to Beverly Hills to protect a Gucci store or a Hermes store, but they take 5 hours to show up to a shooting, right? So this is just their practice, which is to protect and preserve property and things that generate revenue for the sheriff's department and the city, because the only thing they care about is a bigger and bigger piece of the city budget, so that they can use those things to buy weapons and give themselves raises and get $500 an hour for overtime and make $200,000 a year while our teachers are starving and got to buy their own crayons on $40,000 a year salary for the children.
Anybody else? How are you feeling about the new DA?
You know, the fact that we're where we are because the charges were dropped for Eman is amazing. The fact that a politician actually lived up to his comments that he's been making to his constituents is fairly impressive.
We got to go home. This is going to happen. The paperwork has started. The process has started. Okay? They're going to give us a 3-hour heads up. We just made a deal right now. We're going to give us a 3-hour heads up when the manual is going to be released. The paperwork has started. The paperwork is in. Jessica, so it's been started. Okay?
Yeah, you know it.
Okay? So the deal is we're going to go home now. Everybody's going to go home now. Please. All of us. You want home? Me? Huh? I got puppies and weed, guys. I got puppies and weed. Okay? So we're gonna go home. They're gonna give us a 3-hour heads up. When the 3-hour heads up, we're gonna come back. Okay? We can be, when we come back, either sidewalk, doesn't matter. No in the street. Literally, not even the shooters. Sean?
Hey.
Nobody in the street. Okay?
I saw them as just any other police force. I never understood really what the difference was. So, you know, I just always try to avoid them. I just thought whatever laws are pushing is just usual, some BS law that someone of color gets blamed for, usually black people specifically. So, you know, they're just another force. And then now that I've experienced them up close, behind a shield, you know, it boggles my mind sometimes that almost all of them are usually around my same color or close, and they're the ones fighting against all of us. Like, you know, to me, the police force and law enforcement usually in general isn't there to help any of us. There's no laws saying that they have to help us. All they do is protect property. And so to see that these people of color that could have been anyone that I grew up with are now part of that system, when that system doesn't care about you doesn't care about you if you're brown. Even if you are a cop, eventually you know, the money and the nationalism is gonna push you to the side.
Again, please go home, and I will let everybody know within 3 hours we can come back and do it again. Is everybody clear on that? Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna go back this way to get my car. If your car is not there, go this way, please. Good? All right, thank you guys.
Go home.
Thank you guys.
Free your mind.
I know we do.
I've been trying to help on the front line with protesters involved in the various BLM oriented movements in Los Angeles. And so due to my law degree, I have access to certain places like prisons to help people out. So I've been trying to use my law degree to help people out.
Awesome. And why are you here today?
I'm here today because a dear personal friend of mine was arrested 20 days ago on trumped-up charges. He was targeted by the Sheriff's Department for his protest work, and we got him released today. Thank you to DA Gascon and to the protest and movement community as a whole, which applied pressure, and now our guy's getting out today.
Can't believe you made it. I can't believe it. So fucking excited. I can't even believe it. Honestly, I feel like my life has been a horrible movie, and now things are finally looking up.
I think I'm a political prisoner in the sense that because of how ridiculous everything, because of how ridiculous the charges were and the evidence they were trying to give, which there wasn't much of any, that is the only reason that I was in prison. You know, political prisoner sounds like you lock up someone that's saying something very ridiculous or seditious or wild against the government, when all I've ever been saying is, you know, we want justice for these people. You know, when we try to get it, your deputies run away. Like, you know, Miguel Vega fled the country. Like, if they love to use the logic that, you know, if you're not a bad person, you don't have to worry about anything, well, then why did he run? Well, yes, I would be for removing him, because even whatever issues they've had, that everyone has had with the sheriffs before this summer, you would think that seeing what happened to George Floyd would not only soften everyone, but at least make them try not to make themselves look bad.
I'm alive. You're alive. I don't know what to say. Oh, thank you. Oh, beer.
That's the better one.
I don't want to get in trouble right now, but yeah. I guess.
You want a cigarette?
My tooth is busted though. Hi everyone. I'm free! Thank you everyone. I don't know what to say. Other than thank you, I'm alive. Yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you everyone for standing around me, for supporting me. Fuck the cops. Fuck LASD. Eat Chevy and weather. You fucking come back. Fuck you. Let's party? I don't know. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm gonna throw up, so.
Free. Yeah, thank you guys. I got nothing else to say. Thank you.
Love you, we 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 love you.
Just to definitely believe that Andres Guardado had a gun and that he pointed it at them. So if that was all true, why did Miguel Vega leave? And this happened on his watch. You know, for something grave to happen in that manner, you know, they need a whole top-down shakedown to fix that. Thank you. I'm like stupefied.
Don't be, bro. You earned this shit. You put all the fucking you protected all of us for fucking months, bro.
Always.
This shit
You know, I'm bummed I was in there, but I'm glad I got to meet the people in there because there's a lot of people that don't deserve to be in there. You know, all of us are 1 or 2 steps away from being in there, and I guess we just got to keep going, right?
Damn right.
You know, that fucking piece of shit Vega fucking ran away like a goddamn coward. You fucking bitch. Your fucking homie's a piece of shit! So, let's keep pushing. I guess I just gotta regroup for a second. But thank you all. I'm not gonna cry now, but I'm sure I'll cry later. I don't know. Thank you guys. I'm only free because of you guys, you know? People always want to thank God and shit, but God wasn't there. You guys were there for me. Thank you guys.
Right?
We're gonna be down here.
Sorry, sir. Free Eman! Eat shit! Eat shit! LSD! Eat shit! Eat shit!
Your plans for the future.
That's a good question.
Who are you taking the fight to next?
You know, we definitely need to free Tia. That's definitely the obviously not the ultimate goal, but it's a pretty damn great goal. We need to get her out of there. You know, even when I was sitting there, I thought, I'm like, wow, like, I've been here for a week or so now. Like, I can't imagine how she's feeling right now, but I think I understand it just a little bit more. And, you know, I found out some more stuff about her situation in general from being in there. And also that, you know, the support that I thought her initial, the initial push to get her out seemed to be there, but my understanding was, you know, it wasn't exactly, very communal based, or based from the people that were around her because of the OC area. You know, people there seem to be a bit more hesitant to come out and protest, which I understand why from the details that I've heard. So yeah, it's been harder to, I suppose, all of us to go down there and rally, or for us to even understand the situation completely. But now that I've heard a bit more about it, I think I'll be a bit better able to help them somehow, to offer my 2 cents or, you know, time to that, because I mean, I think it's obvious from anyone that would see her video could tell that her charges are unwarranted. You know, if that was anyone else, sorry, not if that was anyone else, if that was a white person and not a person of color, they wouldn't have gotten the same treatment. You know, definitely. Just because she's been protesting against police brutality and police and white supremacy, they slapped all those charges on her because she's fighting against a machine. And just like they did with me, they're going to find any excuse to keep you in there.